Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here, and welcome to the continuing deep dive into the depths of Shadows of Brimstone. And today we're taking a look at two of my favorite expansions, not just for Shadows of Brimstone, but for board games in general. I absolutely love the idea of these expansions, and I love the execution. And that is the ally expansions for the Old West allies and the feudal Japan allies. I think this is such a great idea, and it's probably kind of stems from the days of Advanced Hero Quest, when you would hire allies to bring in with your group of adventurers. And knowing Jason Hill's background with writing fan expansion, fan content for, and working with Games Workshop as a games ambassador back when he was younger, that makes a lot of sense. So the Old West allies, this is when Darkstone was first discovered in the area around Brimstone. Outsiders flooded in looking to get rich. Now they come looking to make a name for themselves and maybe get rich along the way too. Though many of those that arrive are true heroes in their own right, most are common folk with dollars in their eyes, blinding them to the horrors that await. Hiring themselves out as henchmen, they join up with posses heading down into the dark mines. The flood of fortune seekers and merchants have also brought with them supplies and pack mules to carry the load, blacksmiths to support the effort and forge the black rock, and faithful dog companions to help in hunting through the dark places of the world. So with this Allies expansion, you are going to get a number of different types of characters to hire as henchmen. You can hire a blacksmith, you can find a faithful dog, and you can also hire a pack mule to help you carry your stuff. And then each one is going to come with a record sheet, a chart for their upgrades and mutations, and some new cards. Now each of the ally packs, the feudal Japan allies and the Old West allies, come with a pack of ally specialties, which they can further modify the type of ally that you're going to hire. And they also come with a few daily events for the settlement phase. Now what's really frustrating is, in a good way, is that the feudal Japan allies actually does come with these daily events. But of course, the feudal village expansion is not even close to being released yet. So it's just like, it's almost like you have a piece of it in your hands, and I can just imagine having the entire thing when it is eventually ready. So it's kind of like this, you're getting this like really kind of frustrating sneak peek into an expansion that hasn't even been made yet. I just want it in my hands. But in the Old West, you're going to get this blacksmith who looks like he might want to drink your IPA after a successful mission, a faithful dog, a henchman, and a pack mule. Now, each one of these different types of allies has a basic side, and if you hire them at the basic side for 300 for the blacksmith per adventure, then you are just going to take this card and basically use it as an additional item. So he would give you an ability called Strongman, which each hero on your map tile may once per turn re-roll all of their to-hit rolls of 1 for an attack. So you can re-roll 1s on an attack. And he can perform this Darkstone enchantment or enhancement. Each hero may spend 1 Darkstone once per turn to add 2 damage to one of their hits. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of like he is augmenting your weapons out in the field. And then you have this basic dog who can help you with sniff sniff, and he can bark for you. A basic henchman, and the basic henchman, you can discard this henchman, basically send them to his doom to do one of these following things: add 2 to a skill chest, prevent D6 wounds, basically using him as a meat shield or a mind shield, or you can also have him prevent a darkness card for you. And then your basic mule is just going to allow you to carry more things. But if you want to get a little more complex in your games, then you can use the advanced side. And this is where it's really fun, especially if you're playing solo with maybe just even with 1 or 2 heroes in your posse. You can hire one of these allies to come onto the board as an entirely new character who will have a mini and who will have stats and combat bonuses and all of that kind of stuff. And so if you use the advanced side, it's $600 to hire the blacksmith. You still get your blacksmith abilities, but then he can also be used like a normal hero, albeit one that is a little more simple. What's more is as an ally gains XP, so if you're using the advanced allies, then you could also level them up. You can pay 3 ally XP to level up your blacksmith. They gain 2 health and 1 sanity when you do so, and you get to roll on their own upgrade chart. I've heard a couple comments from people who are surprised to see both how long Flying Frog has been supporting Shadows of Brimstone. You know, a lot of times these dungeon crawl games that appear on Kickstarter, they're kind of that pump and dump scenario where they put out a whole bunch of stuff and then it's dead. There's no tail, nothing. Shadows of Brimstone is the exact opposite, as everybody who's been following this series can tell. They have been supporting this game for a very long time. Not only that, but they support it with a lot of depth. And this expansion is really proof of that you can have a whole ally and that ally can be upgraded and leveled up just like a regular character. Also, that ally can also become mutated, and each ally has its own mutation chart as well, which is super cool. So then you have an advanced faithful dog. Same thing, you'll have some more abilities and you can level up your dog, which is awesome. One of the only games I know where you can level up a dog. I'm all about that. The dog can get mutated, which is super cool. Then you have your advanced henchman. Now, when you use your advanced henchman to check it out, once per turn, a single henchman may attempt to cancel a depth event or growing dread or darkness card as it is played. Roll once on the exploration chart to find the result. So what you do then is you go over to this exploration chart and you are going to roll 2d6 to figure out what happens to that henchman. If you roll a 3 or 5, he or she, well, they're all males, unfortunately. It would have been cool to have like some female models for these. But they will suffer a gruesome failure. The event is not canceled and the henchman is killed horribly. Roll on the gruesome fate chart below. Then you get this whole other D36 chart to roll on to find out what kind of gruesome death your henchman suffered from. So cool. An outlaw booby trap, a shotgun trap, stolen by flesh stalkers, a fountain of blood, ripped apart by void hounds, possessed by a demon, mind worm infestation. He heard dark whispers, possessed by madness. Just, I mean, how cool is that? It's so thematic. You're sending your henchman in to investigate something that is dark and scary. And he's, hey, check this out. And then he gets ripped apart by void hounds. And then, of course, that henchman can also be leveled up. And there is his level up chart. And then that henchman can also suffer from mutations. And you can also level up your donkey. And the donkey can move around on the map just like another character. There's the donkey menu there, and there's my faithful dog, Old Red or something, Old Blue. And another, you can upgrade your donkey. How many other dungeon crawls allow you to level up your pack mule? That is just amazing. And the pack mule can also become mutated. So with these ally specialties cards, these are going to make each one of the allies you hire, the advanced allies, a little more special. So one of them could be a follower of the faith or a ranch hand. a tarnished dove. So you can have a female if you augment it with this tarnished dove. It just would have been really nice to have a female mini to go along with that. So maybe I need to look for something for that. Hired guns, frontier deputies, and I love the line art on these. I wish there was more line art in the game like this. A gunfighter, a darkstone artisan, a loco. That's amazing. A mutant blacksmith, so your blacksmith has already mutated. An iron mule, an old donkey. I feel so bad for this old donkey and man's best friend, or a stray dog. Like, I feel so bad for these two animals because they're all old and maybe one last trip. But it's just such a neat idea for an expansion. It adds so much flavor, and just bringing in a henchman with you is always fun, and sending them to their doom is just something always funny happens. So there are some limitations when you have your advanced allies. They do not roll for move. They have a fixed movement. They don't get critical hits. They may not dual wield ranged weapons, may not use grit, may not draw loot cards, but you can equip them with gear. They may not explore, so you can't send them in to explore looking through doors. They don't gain normal XP, they gain ally XP. They are targeted by enemies normally, but not included when determining a random hero. And they have a limited carrying capacity. So there are some limitations, but it is a nice way to maybe make the game a little easier if you're playing with one or two heroes. And so the Japanese equivalents, or the feudal Japan allies, you have a Ashigaru conscript. There's his basic side, which is basically the same as the henchman. This is kind of just a variation on a theme. And then you have their advanced side and their upgrades and mutation charts. And you have your banner bearer with their ability, or their basic side there. Clan banner. Once per fight, each hero on your map tile may heal 3 health or sanity, or gain +1 combat until the end of the next turn. And then you also have their advanced side there with the upgraded chart. Heavy armor, great honor, battle cry. The line must be drawn here. When the last sword is drawn, that would have been a cool one to call something. And then they can become mutated as well. Of course, you have your Ronin bodyguard, your mercenary. Once per turn, a hero on your map tile may prevent D6 wounds that they're about to take, so he kind of takes the wounds for you. And then their advanced side there. And then the animal is only a curious monkey. I don't like the monkey as much of the idea of a pack mule or a faithful dog. They can be curious. He can scream, kind of like the dog's bark there. And then the advanced side there. And then the monkey's upgrade. You can upgrade your monkey. That is so cool. And the Curious Monkey's mutation chart. And here you have your Curious Monkey mini. There's your standard bearer. And your Ronin mercenary. Your spearman. And then your normal henchman there. And the same thing, you're going to get your booklet here. And as more and more honorable samurai houses have been destroyed by the demons, dragons, and armies of the fallen shogun, many farmers and soldiers have found themselves without a home or warlord to protect them. Some farmers hired themselves out as Ashigaru conscripts, joining up with heroes to venture into the dark and foreboding castles that have fallen into shadows. Soldiers and samurai who find themselves without a master now sell their services as banner bearers, carrying the flag of a new master, or Ronin bodyguards selling their swords for protection against the darkness. Even some curious monkey companions have come down from the mountain springs to see what new trouble they can get into amongst the chaos. So that is cool. That is a curious monkey, Curious George there. Get some info about it. Basically the same info, just change the thematic words to make it fit. That is super cool. One of the horrible things that can happen to your henchman, the melting face, because they also come with, of course, their gruesome fate card here. And different kinds of nasty things can happen to your Japanese allies as you send them to investigate the darkness. And then their specialty cards here. You can have a Brotherhood Monk, a Thug, an Honorable Warrior, a Foot Soldier, an Occult Apprentice, a Silent Killer, a Courtesan, Glorious Banner, a Mutant Ronin, a Wrestler, Tattered Colors, Grizzled Guard, a Simian Sidekick, and a Wild Monkey. So yeah, so that is just a quick look at the 2 ally expansions. If you normally play Shadows of Brimstone solo, which I have been recently when I play, I highly recommend this expansion. It is just so much fun. It's so cool to hire henchmen in town and bring them along with you. You can kind of create the story of your camaraderie as you go, or you can create the story of you sending your hired guns in to die for you. Super fun, super cool. It adds a ton of theme and a ton of cool little mechanisms to Shadows of Brimstone. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.